What's going on, everybody? My name is P.O., the creator and host of Follow Suit Podcast. I am here on Seven Springs Farm Vineyard with the owner, Mr. Preston Williams, and the lovely Miss Clara Williams, as I like to call them, Auntie and Unc.
I appreciate that, my friend.
No problem. So they're going to give me a brief tour of their facilities, and we're going to walk around. It's a great Black-owned facility, nice venue, and then I'm going to interview them on my platform, okay? We're here with Charlotte Podcast Studios, and we'll get to you in a second. So we're here at the Outdoor Event Center. Just for me, this is a beautiful space. I don't see a lot of event centers that have all of this space available. So can you explain to me kind of what type of events you have out here and what do you use this particular space for?
All right. I most certainly will. We have events in this area from April through November. Over here in front of us, to our left, we have our VIP area. This is our dance floor.
Okay.
We have our stage. We have our engineering booth out front for our sound tech. Over to the right, we have another a VIP area. And then in front of us here, we have our reserved tables. And then behind the reserved tables, that's what we call Tent City. People are able to bring their tents, their lawn seating, and just select a space, and that's where they enjoy the show. We have a variety of shows.
Okay, so with the VIP section.
Yes, sir.
So the next time or anytime I come out here, that's where I sit? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's not given, it's earned. You're in the process of earning it.
Okay.
But yes, we'll do our best to accommodate.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Now with the dance floor, you say you have a lot of shows out here. What kind of shows do you typically have?
Well, R&B shows, we have jazz, we have cigar events, we have a Mother's Day celebration, we have a Greek fest. This year we're doing something that we call blues and barbecue. So we try to touch all genres of music and give our people an opportunity to enjoy their time spent here at Seven Springs.
Well, hey, listen, when you have barbecue, let me know, because that's my forte.
Okay.
Welcome to another episode of Follow Suit. As always, I'm your host, P.O. I am here for a very, very special, different location episode of Follow Suit here at Seven Springs Farm Vineyard with the owner, Mr. One of a Kind, Preston Williams, and his lovely wife, Miss Clara Williams. After we just came off of a fresh tour, getting to know them a little more, I have already been adopted as their honorary nephew. So, how you guys doing today?
Fabulous.
Doing well, thank you.
So the first thing I want to say, the biggest thing that was important for me to come out here was because it's beautiful to see Black-owned businesses that are flourishing in a natural way. And I'm a man who's married, and me and my wife like to do things together. So it was just impactful for me to see a husband and wife building something with their family, passing it down generations. So I just wanted to kind of say, I'll start with you, Mr. Williams, just kind of ask, like, what was it that got you started into this business? What led to you going down this path? And then I'll ask you a question as well.
Okay. Okay.
That's a good question. Well, we've been involved in a lot of activities, a lot of business since we teamed up. We used to run cattle out here on this farm, which is about 140, give or take, acres. We spent a lot of time on the land because I'm a firm believer that when you're close to nature, that's when you find the most of your peace. So because we enjoyed being on the land so much, we wanted to open it up and give others an opportunity to come and feel what we feel.
Okay.
The peace, the serenity, the opportunity to release themselves of the stress built up from being in corporate America, being in the world. So we wanted to do something for the people. And we started visiting wineries, and this is what we ended up with.
Okay.
Love every minute of it. The people enjoy the service. The people enjoy the fellowship. They enjoy the family. and they enjoy the products that we offer.
Well, that's definitely impactful to hear. And then Auntie Clara,
All right.
for you, I know that he said that you guys want to be able to provide a different, pretty much a perspective, so to speak, of the way it is to work in America, not just from the corporate life, but just having a release and an outlet. For you, what was that process like with supporting moving it forward? Was this something that you personally was passionate about as well, or was it more of supporting Mr. Williams?
Let me just share this with you. I was in corporate America.
Okay.
And really about 2 months before we opened up, I guess you can say our soft opening, I retired, which was in 2020. And to follow up on the question that you're asking, initially I was unsure, didn't know what this would do, especially being in a rural area. When we would come here, what would it be about? But then after, talking with our, family, with sons and having their engagement, and also with our daughter-in-laws at the time too, I was able to become a little calmer.
Okay.
About, stepping into I would say, a business that is not so well done within our culture.
Right.
And that's reality also. But in understanding and being here on the land, because we've been on the land since 1987, you begin to become trusting about the path, and I'll just say this spiritually, that God has for you.
Absolutely.
And for me, the more that you give and do for others, and you take care and be a good steward of what you got going on, God is going to make sure that it is the way and what it is that we need to do as a family.
Okay. Well, I love to hear that. And then when you talk about things like this being a place of peace and serenity, when we first got here and we got to the overnight stay, the first thing I said was like, man, this is a place that I would bring my family out here to hang. I brought my wife with me here because I wanted her to experience this with me, and to just be able to be out here, not just as a one-off trip to enjoy a winery or a vineyard and just sit back and have a good time, but just to see a Black husband and wife who have built something for their family, because we have young kids. My wife is in graphic design. We are aspiring business owners and things like that. So I not only wanted to be able to experience the culture, but to experience what it took to build that culture and just, learn more about your journey. So I know when we spoke off camera, you said that everybody has a different type of struggle. And the word struggle is a term that you don't like to necessarily use because that can be determined in different ways.
Yes.
So would you say you prefer the word journey more than the struggle?
Everybody does have a different journey. Yes. Okay. I think that fits the space between birth and death.
I got you.
Journey.
So that's that little dash in between.
That little dash.
Okay.
That's right.
So on your journey, and this is a question for both of you, on your journey, when you were coming through, what were some hurdles that you kind of had to overcome when trying to build it to get it to this point? I know Miss Clara said that she was uncertain at the beginning. I know me, where I'm at now, trying to think about switching from corporate and just being a straight up business owner. That's a hard, thing to step out to. So what were some hurdles that you stepped into? And
I don't know whether it's, you use the word hard, I'll say difficult or not. Because anything that you do in life, you are already prepared for it. So when you're connected, there is no such thing as surprises.
Okay.
Because I left corporate America, started my own thing. I'm wondering what's going to happen. But what you have to realize is that the base is still intact. The support system that you enjoyed while you were in corporate America is still intact.
Yeah.
So we had situations that we had to deal with, but there was never any doubt in whether or not what we were doing was going to be successful or not. Because as I tell people all of the time, this originated from a vision, not from a dream. This is something that was preordained, pre-laid out, pre-supported. So the only thing left for us to do was to keep our word, to do what we promised to do, and then everything else was going to fall in place.
Okay.
So consequently, what that did was that made the journey much easier because you never worried about the outcome.
Okay.
Because it has always been predetermined.
Okay.
So I've loved every minute of it, and just the experiences of knowing and seeing how things automatically come to pass.
So what you say that sometimes when people don't have the success that they want, is it because, in your opinion, that they are too focused on the outcome as opposed to staying in the journey and committing to that journey process? Would you say that?
I would, to a certain degree, agree with you. But when you are embarking on your journey, you cannot allow another's definition of failure to deter you from continuing on your journey.
Okay.
Because failure in the sight of one is productive in the sight of the person that's on the journey.
Okay.
Why? Because there are some things in life that you must go through in order that you be prepared for what lies ahead. But because the unknown exists, it does not mean that the answer is no. It does not mean that you failed.
Okay.
No, it simply means that there was something I had to learn in order that I make the next step.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So then for you on this journey, because everybody has their role that they play, right? So how has the journey been for you helping to get to this point, and then not only just get to it, but the maintaining it? Because you guys said you had with the land since 87, right?
Yes, 1987.
I was born in 87. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
hey, look at that.
Yeah, so I'm 38. So that's 38
Right.
years here. That's a long time to be able to build something up, maintain it, and then have such like respect and just a staple in the community, which I can see. So for you, what was that journey like trying to help with the maintaining part, that middle part?
First of all, understanding purpose. And that's a really big word for me.
Okay.
Understanding purpose was what helped me to sustain and to want to continue, this path that we're going on as far as the vineyard. The business is the business. But as a family, we needed to understand why we're going to continue to do what we're doing.
Okay.
Because we have been doing some other things with the land also.
Okay.
But in understanding the purpose of what we're doing it for, and I think from what Preston has said and then what you have reiterated about knowing that the vision and what is the outcome to be, because if the vision and the plans are in place to execute, then if you know why it is that you're doing it, then it's all going to be, worked out.
Okay.
So for me, understanding the purpose of what the business is and the different aspects of it, I needed to find out, okay, what it is that I know that I'm good at. I love people. I love people. I'm a very, advocate of just knowing and getting engaging with people. And because of that, I have at heart, the overnight stays, to try to make sure that those that do come have a great experience and they're taken care of. And then other things that, transpire and happen so that I understand what it is that my role is as far as a part of this business.
Well, that's a big factor because, like I said, I would feel comfortable bringing my family out here to enjoy this space. And not just like my wife, my mom, my dad, but like my kids can come here. No, they're not drinking wine, but we can go sit out by the body of water back there. They can just enjoy the space, see the animals, which I think is a very, very good thing. I kind of want to pause at the part where you talked about purpose because that's kind of like transparently a phase in life where I'm at right now. I'm at a job, right, where they're always kind of like, oh, you can make life-changing money. And me, I never looked at myself as somebody who was chasing life-changing money. I want to change lives. I do a lot of things with like helping the youth, helping the kids. So how is it when you guys when you ideal or when you land on that purpose? Because a lot of times when like I'm praying and things like that, I'm asking for a particular song. Like, can you show me where am I supposed to be at? What am I supposed to be doing? So what was some signs that like, okay, this is where I'm meant to be? I'll start with you on that, then pivot to you.
Oh, wow. Some of the signs were basically, well, I would say for myself, the transition. At I would say from working in I would say I'll just use the buzzword, the corporate America.
Right.
The transition there. Because of some of the roles that I had in corporate America, there was an impact that I would have with individuals, with talking with them. For instance, with some of the younger, I would say, individuals that would come into, the jobs.
I got you.
And you have to really be able to speak so that those individuals won't be doing just like what you're saying, chasing the money. Understand what it is that you need to do in that current role, do that job, and go home and be with your family. But with myself, in understanding that transition, it took a little while for me to get it.
Yeah.
Just like what you were doing. But once I got it, I know how I can roll with it.
Okay.
And I don't question some of the things that I do because I know and understand the reason
I got you.
that I need to be doing to impact a person. Just impact one person at a time.
Okay.
You don't have to impact a whole lot of people. Just one person. But you know that that's what you want to do, and it's not about show.
Okay.
It's not about being in front all the time to do those things. Because you can impact a whole lot by being in the background.
So it's funny you say just one person. I told you off camera that my grandfather's a pastor, and I also have a recruiting business that helps get kids into college. It's called Just One Recruiting because my grandfather, one sermon, I was probably like 12 years old. And he gave us these little rubber bands that said just one. And me and my brothers kept them. And he always said just one prayer can help just one person. And then that can make a change and that can make a difference. So I've always lived by that method. And he probably don't know that's why I named my recruiting company that. But I held on to that from I was like a preteen. And it's just something that resonated. And when you're in church as a young one, sometimes you're fully locked in, sometimes you're kind of just But that stuck with me. And another thing that my grandfather said was that as long as you did it with pure intentions, you should never regret what you did. So what was the sign of like this is the purpose that you were supposed to have? Or what was the sign to you that led you down this path?
What was the sign? Let me, because you asked a different question earlier.
Okay.
When it comes to dollars and cents, I tell the staff all of the time, if you do your part as well as you can, money's going to come. Don't ever chase the dollar.
Okay.
Okay. So if you work diligently and faithful at what you're doing, success is destined to follow.
Okay.
How did I know that this was for me? When you're connected, there is not a void of communication. Communication will let you know when it's time to sever. Communication will also let you know where to transition to. Communication then will show you how to adjust to that transition that has been visually shared with you. So, and when you have all of those elements intact in succession, there is no other alternative but to believe.
Okay.
Trust your journey.
Okay.
If you know who holds your journey.
Yes.
Okay, so I've never had any doubt as to whether or not this was going to be successful.
Okay.
Because there is no failure in the one that we serve. Okay. No failure. So I never doubted for a minute.
Well, that's important. I'm sorry, did you have something you wanted to add?
Well, I always tell our staff, too, you have to be flexible. You have to read the tea leaves.
Okay.
Because in this world, in this economy, in this country, things are always changing. And you cannot be afraid to change course. You cannot be afraid to shift your direction, because what you're trying to do is maximize the efforts that you're putting forth. And we're dealing with people. We're dealing with human beings that are dealing with situations. So in order that we maximize, we've got to be able to, in some instances, turn on a dime. Or in other instances, be able to plan the transition, plan the change, flexible.
Okay. And then when you talk about, like, I hear you say your staff. So since I've been here and in communication with Jamal, I've learned that majority of the staff is your children or family, correct?
Well, the regular staff, all of our part-time workers, non-family members.
Got it.
And they run our events during the summertime. We have an excellent staff, faithful, and our customer service is second to none.
Well, shout out to the staff, family, and non-family for your customer service, because you guys make everything go. So we see you.
That's right.
That's right.
So I want to touch on the fact of hiring family, right? You have a business, something that's established. Your son speaks very, very, very profoundly of you. He speaks highly of you, and just me, I just met you today, right? But like I said, I feel like I've known you for a long time because you had no problem from the second we started talking to give me any knowledge, any game that you had. And I'm appreciative of people like you, because there's a lot of people who are successful and doing well, and they don't want to show the next person. Or not that they don't want to, but they feel like, I had to work hard for it. You need to figure it out yourself as well. So
what I would, I'm not cutting you off,
no, you're good,
but I want to touch on that point. I don't want you to, for one moment, to think that it's been an easy journey for Jamal, Cornelius, and Preston.
I was going to ask about
because
that.
Because I figured you would.
Yeah.
So I'm just cutting you off at the pass.
I got you.
So, it hadn't been, because for Jamal, I have gone from father to friend to boss. And that's not an easy three-way transition when you're constantly receiving from the same person. So I applaud him.
Yeah.
Because it's not love. I'm not an easy person to satisfy, because I specifically desire it to be done one way. And I believe that that's the best way.
Right.
So consequently, what I've had to do is I've had to make some adjustments. The reason that you connected is because you're an outsider coming in. And there is an appreciation, because you know what I'm sharing is valuable.
Right. Right.
And so they have had to grow to the point that they see the value in what I'm sharing with them from a boss or employer, business owner, so that it's in their best interest. Because Jamal has never really had the opportunity to separate himself from my instructions.
I got you.
And that's been difficult for him, not so much for me. Like I said, but for him, and I applaud him for making those adjustments and seeing the value in, and it's eventually going to bear fruit. So that's kudos.
Yeah, and I appreciate you sharing that, and I definitely shout out to your kids, because that is a big thing. Like, trying to live to certain expectations can be a thing within the culture, but it's obvious to me. This hasn't been directly said to me, but I could tell from the way he speaks about you that he has a lot of love for his father, and regardless of how hard it might have been, like, he can look at his father as a man of, like, that's a man of character, principle, and that's something that I'm not running away from the family, because he could probably go get a job. He's a very smart guy. So to be able to just stay in it and then speak the way he does, and to make sure he's supporting you. He always says, like, hey, I'm standing on my father's shoulders. I was like, so that's his phrase he says to me. So that speaks volumes of the character that you have. So again, from a black man perspective, they don't like to show that about how we are with our
One further point. It's not just for my son. It's for sons. It's for any male that come to the vineyard. I don't discriminate because if it works for my three, chances are some of it will work for them.
Yeah.
And I must admit that most black men, when they come, they are receptive to the instructions the wisdom that I share with them. So I am eternally grateful for the platform.
Well, yeah, I definitely appreciate the way you guys maneuver and handle each other. And I can tell, Auntie, that you have a lot of nurturing about you. So from that standpoint of with their development, right? And I know for me, like, I look up to my dad. My dad's name is Perry. My name is Perry. Okay. My dad is larger than life, literally. He's 6'6". He's a big man. Wow. And there was always a lot of pressure. He never made me feel pressure. My dad, shout out to my dad. I love you, Pops. He never made me feel pressure. But obviously, when you have the same name and he has a certain amount of respect, you feel that pressure. So my mom always made me feel just like, hey, you're your own individual person. So what is that conversation you have with your boys about, like, it's okay to aspire to be like your dad, but still be your own person? What is that kind of like balance like?
I'm not going to say that it's hard, but it is one that you have to really disconnect when you, I would say, sharing about certain aspects. Or I like to call it stories, of their lives. So, and Jamal would say this, and I'm going to give him kudos. He'll say, Mom, okay, you're talking to me as what? As the employee? Are you talking to me as mom?
Yeah.
Or are you just talking to me to share? So, and I've had to think about that as I've interacted with the three sons. So, and I'm very cognizant of it now, of how it is that I need to share information to each one of them regarding, I would say, their stories and their journeys in life. As a mom, of course, having three sons in this world, black males, you will have I would say a tendency to look at some of the, I would say, the negative things that are going on in the world.
Absolutely.
But you have to want to keep encouraging our young males, our young fathers, to do what they need to do and not make excuses about what they can't do. Because they can do all things.
Yes.
They can do it. They can do it all. But you have to be a part of a village, and I'm gonna say that because during my time of growing up, there was a village that helped you to keep going. Like you say, an auntie, those type of things. Those type of people that were in your life. So I try to ensure that I'm separating, what it is that I'm talking to them about, what role it is. But sometimes those roles intermingle. I'm just going to be honest about it, because I do share with each one what is your purpose, and know your purpose and work your purpose. And that's why I say, I know it sounds redundant, it sounds just over the top, but if you know what your purpose is, you're going to do that. If you know what the vision is for you, you're going to do that.
Absolutely.
And that will transcend not just with yourself, but transcend with your children, or transcend with your relationships.
Okay.
But you have to understand.
Understood.
And it takes a little while to get there, but you get there.
Okay. Understood. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
One thing about the platform that we created with Follow Suit, that's the podcast that I put together. I teamed up with Charlotte Podcast Studio, and one thing that I wanted to focus on was highlighting like brands and telling our story. One thing that I love that you guys do is the first Fridays every month. Can you kind of give me the backstory? Well, first explain what the first Fridays are, and then give the backstory on why it's important for you to highlight those companies, and kind of just go from there.
Well, I can't take the credit. Right.
You could.
No. I can't, and I won't.
Right.
Jamal and Alexis, and they can share the credit. They've done a wonderful job of putting it together.
Okay.
What they created is an environment where minority-owned businesses can come together.
Okay.
And fellowship, share stories, and generate income. It has been very beneficial for Seven Springs because what we're able to do now, we have a directory of minority-owned businesses that we can just go down the line and call for services. With the event, our hope is that each business that is a part of it will create a directory, and in turn, they will go to that directory when they need a service. And then businesses in the Black community need support.
Absolutely.
And they need encouragement. What we also seek to do is share levels of success. What did we do to overcome? What did we do to maximize? How do we use specific tools in order that we move forward? And we're sharing those tools, and we're having professionals to come in and share with businesses things that they can do to enhance the quality and quantity of the product that they are producing. So it's all about elevating the business experience.
Okay. So that's it's funny you said the way you said, because I just hear your wife talking about the village and making sure there's a village to take care of each other, like raising the kids. But that village aspect by your kids was applied to your business to help elevate the community, elevate the culture, and to kind of shed light on what it is that we can do if we support each other.
That's exactly right.
Exactly. So I love to hear that. So for each event, you guys have a themed one each month, correct?
Jamal, do we? That goes to show that even sitting in this chair, I don't know everything, but Jamal nodded and said, yes, we have a theme event for each month.
Yes.
Got it. And then, like for me, like with me being here, it's an honor to be able to be a part of the catalog now, to be a part of the village, because I want to not only see how you guys grow and see you continue to grow, but I want to learn from other like-minded people to help myself grow, to help myself flourish, and help my team flourish, because at the end of the day, I'm a people person as well.
Okay.
Shamar holds the camera. He's the owner of the Charlotte Podcast Studio, but he's always like, Perry ain't never met a person he don't know.
Okay.
And that's because I'm a big, I just believe in spreading love. That's how I believe you have to function. I believe you'll have success when you move in that manner. I know you asked me some questions offline about myself, but that's me. What you see right here, right now, is how I am at all times. And I feel like with you too, this is how you guys are. We're in your element, in the comfort of your space. I appreciate you guys inviting me out. Is there anything in particular about your business, your company, your family that you guys want to highlight?
Well, everybody is looking for success. Success is not given, but success is earned. You have to develop some consistency in your life. You can't be up one day, down the next. If you are consistent in your approach to life, then you will experience some consistency in the things that you prioritize. And in order for us to move Seven Springs further, we have to continue to practice consistency.
Okay.
And we've been very successful at that because we understand what it takes for us to get from point A to point B.
Okay.
We put together a 5-year plan that has incorporated everything that you see. And it was put together prior to us doing the first inch of infrastructure.
Okay.
So we knew from the start where we were going. We didn't know the how that we were going, but that wasn't our responsibility.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying?
Sir.
But yet we trusted. We trusted the journey, stayed the course, consistently moved forward. Now, it's not to say that there were no bumps in the road, but when we see bumps, it's just a grain of sand. Because it's just something that we have to work our way over because we always know what lies beyond it.
Okay.
Again, motto, there is no way that we can fail with what we do, how we do, and most importantly, who we serve.
And is there anything about the business, the family, that you would like to highlight or discuss?
And I'll just share this as a thought. With success, it's not just from the monetary part. It's also some of those intangibles.
Okay.
As far as being people that are authentic, being who you know you need to be, and also sharing care for individuals as you continue your journey for the purpose that you know that you are to be about.
Okay.
And Seven Springs is about that overall. And we really try to ensure that what we do is what should be done to engage with mankind.
Okay.
Because it's so important for us to be kind to one another, first of all. Yeah. So I just wanted to kind of share that, that we're not always looking at success to be from a monetary value.
What I would add to it is we don't try. We do it.
You do it. Okay.
We do it.
We do it.
That makes sense.
Some things are just not optional.
Right.
We do it.
Yes.
And I love that you guys are that way because the impact matters. You know what I mean? Yeah. Being here is impactful to me. And I'm being serious because I can see how you guys move. I see how your family moves. I see the purpose you move with. And then the things you speak about, you're living it. You know what I mean? And I know you're saying it's a good time all the time.
Hello.
And I've been here since 9 a.m. and I'm having a good time.
Oh, right.
Okay, I'm having a good time.
Awesome.
One question I like to ask to all of first, do you guys have questions for me before I ask my last question?
That would be unfair.
Why is that? This is good. This is very good. I know you had it a million times.
Go ahead.
Okay, just one question. How do you seek out those that you want to put in your as a podcaster?
For me, I normally look at somebody who's doing something impactful. So for you guys in particular, my wife saw a video on TikTok that went, I don't know if it was viral or what, but she sent it to me like, man, you need to check them out. This is Black owned. They're doing things. You can see the community. And it was like, I think it was one of your Greek fests, a TikTok of that. But typically, I look for somebody, it's not about the amount of followers that they have. Okay. It's just about the content in which they display, whether they're a business owner or if they just have a certain message on their platform. And then I feel like they have good talking points that we can discuss. Like I had these women on who were maternal mental health therapists. Okay. I don't feel like that's something that's discussed a lot in our community. So I have 2 kids. I know what my wife went through when we had kids. Okay. I wanted to learn more. As a man, I wanted to learn more about it. And then I also wanted to make sure that as a community, if we understand each other better, I feel like mankind would treat each other better. So that's kind of how I go about who I try and have on the show.
Okay. Very good.
I reserve the right to ask my questions at a later podcast where we'll switch seat. I'll sit there and you sit there.
I like that. All
right.
When I come out May 17th, we'll do that.
But bring your chef attire.
He's making me get on the grill.
Oh, wow.
He's making me get on the grill.
No, you claimed it.
I did. And
if you claim it, I want to testify to it.
I got you.
But I got to taste it first.
I got you.
All right.
So the title of my show is called Follow Suit. Because as a culture, I felt like we've been dealt a bad hand and they expect us to follow suit. So I'm trying to change the narrative of that.
Okay.
What's one narrative that you would change about the Black culture?
Well, I follow suit.
It's a
Man,
car
people.
thing.
Well, that's okay. People, people have expectations, but another person's expectations isn't your reality. And I don't allow any of that to infiltrate where I am. You can expect what you want to expect, but chances are that's not what you're going to get.
I got you.
If it doesn't align with our priorities.
Okay.
So I just feel as though people must understand their priorities, and then you put all those expectations in the background. Because look, no matter what you do, how much of it you do, how well you do it, you're never going to measure up to another person's expectations.
Right.
So you've got to fully understand the who's, the what, when's, the whys in your life. And all your expectations are being met.
That's deep. I appreciate that.
I'll take you there and bring you back.
That's awesome.
Is there a narrative that you would change that about our culture that's placed on us that you like one narrative I would like to change is that people always try and say that Black men are great fathers. I don't believe that to be true. I know a lot of great fathers. I have a great father. Clearly, you're a great father. So that's one I like to try and highlight the fact that Black men are doing positive things with their kids.
Well, excuse me,
Which is
Clara,
good.
but look,
That's good.
don't allow another person's perception
Yeah.
to become
Your
your reality.
Well, no, I understand.
So
and I agree with that.
again, if you don't entertain it as a perception generated by someone else, you won't ever have to deal with
I
it.
get where you're coming from.
It's factual.
I get where you're coming from.
We're excellent fathers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because we know that, consequently, there are powers that try to tear it down by planting negative seeds. And guess what we do?
Buy into
We
it.
entertain it.
I got you. So I get. That's a different way to look at it. I appreciate that. Is there anything else that you want to add?
No, I'm sorry, Clay.
Oh,
No, that was
because he's
good.
passionate
Yeah,
about
that's
certain aspects of fatherhood and things of that sort. I share this statement sometimes with individuals one-on-one. Don't talk about it, be about it, and do. And that's one thing sometimes that as a culture we kind of sit back and we want to say somebody else is holding us back, but they're not. I'm sitting in this chair and I can say, oh, something is holding me back, but it's not. I can get up. So don't just sit there and just think that you have to always just talk to someone about what it is that you want to do. Be about it and get it done.
I appreciate that. You have
That's
anything
it.
else?
Thank you.
You guys have been awesome. I'm having a great time. The tour was amazing. The wine is amazing. This one's for me, right?
Fishy Creek. No, just that in your glass.
Yes.
I got you.
You have to earn the
I
bottle.
know, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You've not earned the
I
bottle.
still ain't earned it.
Okay.
It's good.
All right.
It's up,
Well, I'm here. I'm here till later. I appreciate
All
you.
right.
Maybe by today's end.
I got you. Again, my name is P.O. This has been another episode of Follow Suit. Mr. and Mrs. Williams, you guys are amazing. I've had an amazing time being out here, getting to know you guys, learning from you. Charlotte Podcast Studio, we can go remote. It's not just a singular location. We can go remote. So if you guys need any assistance, Shamar and Tay can help you out. Seven Springs, you guys have been amazing. Thanks a lot. You guys be blessed.